A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. A surah which we have sent down and which we have ordained. In it we have sent down clear signs in order that you may receive admonition. The woman and the man guilty of adultery or fornication, flog each of them with 100 stripes. Let not compassion move you in their case in a matter prescribed by God, if you believe in God and the last day, and let a party of the believers witness their punishment. Let no man guilty of adultery or fornication marry any but a woman similarly guilty, or an unbeliever not let any but such a man or an unbeliever marry such a woman. To the believers such a thing is forbidden. And those who launch a charge against chaste woman and produce not 4 witnesses to support their allegations, flog them with 80 stripes and reject their evidence even after, for such men are wicked transgressors, unless they repent thereafter and mend their conduct, for God is oft forgiving, most merciful. And for those who launch a charge against a spouse and have in support no evidence but their solitary evidence can be received, if they bear witness 4 times of an oath by God that they are solemnly telling the truth, and the 5th oath should be that they solemnly invoke the curse of God on themselves if they tell a lie. But it will be avert the punishment from the wife if she bears witness 4 times of an oath by God that her husband is telling a lie, and the 5th oath should be that she solemnly invokes the wrath of God on herself if her accuser is telling the truth. If it were not for God's grace and mercy on you, and that God is off returning full of wisdom, you would be ruined indeed. Those who brought forward the lie are a body. Among yourselves think it not to be an evil to you, on the contrary it is good for you. So every man among them will come the punishment of the sin that he earned, and to him who took on himself the lead among them will be a penalty grievous. Why did not the believers, men and women, believe when you heard of the affair? Put the best construction on it, in their own minds, and say, this charge is an obvious lie. Why did they not bring 4 witnesses to prove it? And they have not brought 4 witnesses. Such men, in the sight of God, stand forth themselves as liars. Were it not for the grace and mercy of God on you in this world and the hereafter, grievous penalty would have seized you in that you rush glibly into this affair. Behold, you received it on your tongues, and said out of your mouths things of which you had no knowledge, and you thought it to be a light matter, while it was most serious in the sight of God. And why did you not, when you heard it, say, it is not right of us to speak of this? Glory to God, this is a most serious slander. God doth admonish you that you may never repeat such conduct if you are true believers, and God makes the signs plain to you, for God is full of knowledge and wisdom. Those who love to see scandal published broadcast among the believers will have a grievous penalty in this life, and the hereafter God knows and you know not. Were it not for the grace and mercy of God on you, and that God is full of kindness and mercy, you would be ruined indeed. Of you who believe, follow not Satan's footsteps. If any will follow the footsteps of Satan, he will but command what is shameful and wrong. And were it not for the grace and mercy of God on you, not one of you would ever have been pure, but God doth purify whom he pleases, and God is one who hears and knows all things. Let not those among you with who are endued with grace and amplitude of means resolve by oath against helping their kinsmen, those in want, and those who have left their homes in God's cause. Let them forgive and overlook. Do you not wish that God should forgive you? For God is oft forgiving, most merciful. Those who slander chaste woman indiscreet but believing, and are cursed in this life, and in the hereafter for them is a grievous penalty. on the day when their tongues, their hands, and their feet will bear witness against them as to their actions. On that day, God will pay them back all their just dues, and they will realize that God is the very truth that makes all things manifest. Women impure are for men impure, and men impure for women impure, and women of purity are for men of purity, and men of purity are for women of purity. These are not affected by what people say. For them there is forgiveness and provision honourable. Of ye who believe, enter not houses other than your own. Will ye have asked permission and saluted those in them that is best for you, in order that you may heed what is seemly? If you find no one in the house, enter not until permission is given to you. If you ask to go back. That makes for greater purity for yourselves, and God knows well all that you do. It is no fault on your part to enter houses not used for living in, which serve some other use for God, and for you, and God has knowledge of what you conceal and what you conceal. Say to the believing men that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty, and that will make for greater purity for them, and God is well acquainted with all that they do. And say to the believing woman that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty, that they should not display their beauty and ornaments except what must ordinarily appear thereof, that they should draw their veils over their bosoms, and not display their beauty except to their husbands, their fathers, their husbands' fathers, their sons, their husbands' sons, the brothers of their brothers' sons, or their sisters' sons, or their women, or the slaves whom their right hands possess, or male servants free of physical needs, or small children who have no sense of the shame of sex, and that they should not strike their feet in order to draw attention to their hidden ornaments. And O ye believers, turn ye all together towards God, that ye may attain bliss. Marry those among you who are single, or the virtuous ones among your slaves, male or female. If they are in poverty, God will give them means out of his grace. For God encompasseth all, and he knoweth all things. Let those who find not the wherewithal for marriage keep themselves chaste, until God gives them means out of his grace. And if any of your slaves ask for a deed in writing to enable them to earn their freedom for a certain sum, give them such a deed. If you know any God in them, ye give them something yourselves out of a means which God has given to you. But force not your maids to prostitution when they desire chastity, in order that they may make a gain in the goods of this life. But if anyone compels them, yet after such compulsion is God of forgiving, most merciful to them. We have already sent down to you verses making things clear, an illustration from the story of people who passed away before you, and an admonition for those who fear God. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of his light is as if there were a niche, and within it a lamp, the lamp enclosed in glass. The glass, as it were, a brilliant star, lit from a blessed tree, an olive neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil is well nigh luminous through fire scarce touched it. Light upon light, God doth guide whom he will to his light. God doth send forth parables for men, and God doth know all things. Lit is such a light in houses which God hath permitted to be raised to honour for the celebration in them of his name. In them is he glorified. In the mornings and in the evenings again and again, by men whom neither traffic nor merchandise can divert from the remembrance of God, nor from regular practice, nor from regular prayer, nor from the practice of regular charity. Their only fear is that the day when hearts and eyes will be transformed in a world wholly new, that God may reward them according to the best of their deeds and add even more for them out of his grace, for God doth provide for those whom he will without measure. But the unbelievers, their deeds are like a mirage in sandy deserts, which the man parched with first mistakes for water, until when he comes up to it he finds it to be nothing, but he finds God ever with him, and God will pay him his account, and God is swift in taking account. Of the unbeliever's state is like the depths of darkness in a vast deep ocean, overwhelmed with topped by dark clouds, depth of darkness, one above another. If a man stretches out his hand, he can hardly see it. For any to whom God giveth not light, there is no light. Seest thou not that it is not God whose praises all beings in the heavens and on earth do celebrate, and the birds of the air with wings outspread, each one knows its own mode of prayer and praise, and God knows well all that they do. Yet to God belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and to God is the final goal of all. Seest thou not that God makes the clouds move gently, then joins them together, then makes them into a heap? Then wilt thou see rain issue forth from their midst, and he sends down from the sky mountain masses of clouds, wherein is hail. He strikes therewith whom he pleases, and he turns it away from whom he pleases to whom he pleases. The vivid flash of his lightning well nigh blinds of the sight. It is God who alternates the night and the day. Verily, in these things is an instructive example for those who have vision, and God has created every animal from water. Of them there are some that creep on their bellies, some that walk on 2 legs, and some that walk on 4. God creates what he wills, for verily God has power over all things. We have indeed sent down signs that make things manifest, and God guides whom he wills to a way that is straight. They say we believe in God and in the apostle, and we obey. But even after that, some of them turn away. They are not really believers. When they are summoned to God and his apostle in order that he may judge between them, behold, some of them decline to come. But if the right is on their side, they come to him with all submission. It is that there is a disease in their hearts, or do they doubt, or are they in fear that God and his apostle will deal unjustly with them? Nay, it is they themselves who do wrong. The answer of other believers when summoned to God and his apostle in order that he may judge between them, in no other than this they say. They say, we hear and we obey. In such as these that will attain felicity, it is such as obey God and his apostle, and fear God and do right that will win him in the end. They swear their strongest oaths by God, that is if only thou wouldst command them, they would leave their homes. Say, swear ye not. Obedience is more reasonable. Verily God is well acquainted with all that you do. Say, obey God and obey the apostle. But if you turn away, he is the only responsible for the duty placed on him, and yet for that placed on you. If you obey him, you shall be on right guidance. The apostle's duty is only to preach a clear message. God has promised to those among you who believe and work righteous deeds that he will of a surety grant them in the land inheritance of power, as he granted it to those before them, that he will establish in authority their religion, the one which he has chosen for them, and that he will change their state after a fear in which they lived to one of security and peace. They will worship me alone and not associate aught with me. If any do reject faith after this, they are rebellious and wicked. So establish regular prayer and give regular charity and obey the apostle that you may receive mercy. Never think thou that the unbelievers are going to frustrate God's plan on earth. Their abode is the fire, and it is indeed an evil refuge of you who believe. Let those whom your right hands possess, and the children among you who have not come of age, ask your permission before they come to your presence on 3 occasions before morning prayer, the while you doff your clothes for the noonday heat, and after the late night prayer. There are your three times of undress. Outside those times it is not wrong for you or for them to move about attending to each other. Make full stuff God, make clear the signs to you, for God is full of knowledge and wisdom. But when the children among you come of age, let them also ask for permission, as do those senior to them in age. Thus doth God make clear his signs to you, for God is full of knowledge and wisdom. Such elderly women as are prospect of marriage, there is no blame on them if they lay aside their outer garments, provided they make not a wanton display of their beauty. But it is best for them to be modest, and God is one who sees and knows all things. It is no fault in the blind, nor in the one born lame, nor in one afflicted with illness, nor in yourselves that you should eat in your own houses, or those of your fathers, or your mothers, or your brothers, or your sisters, or your father's brothers, or your father's sisters, or your mother's brothers, or your mother's sisters, or in the houses of which the keys are in your possession, or in the house of a sincere friend of yours. There is no blame on you, whether you eat in company or separately. But if you enter houses, salute each other, a greeting or blessing and purity from God. From God. Thus does God make clear the signs to you, that you may understand. Only those are believers who believe in God and his apostle, when they are with him on a matter requiring selective action, they do not depart until they have asked for his leave. Those who ask for fire leave are those who believe in God and his apostle. So when they ask for fire leave when they ask for fire leave for some business of theirs, give leave to those of them whom thou wilt, and ask God for their forgiveness, for God is all forgiving, most merciful. Deem not the summons of the apostle among yourselves like the summons of one. Of you to another God doth know those of you who slip away under shelter of some excuse. Then let those beware who withstand the apostles' order, lest some trial befall them, or a grievous penalty be inflicted on them. Be quite sure that to God doth belong whatever is in the heavens and on earth. Well doth he know that what ye are intent upon, and one day they will be brought back to him, and he will tell them the truth of what they did, for God doth know all things.